Hello, fellow traders. So instant funding has always been, they've been around for a couple of years now. Most of these prop firm companies only last a couple of years. But I've failed a few, prop firms from them in the past. I think I passed like one of them. But one of the reasons is they're extremely suspicious. The reasons that you'll fail the accounts are extremely suspicious. It's not set in stone. It really doesn't make sense. And coming back now, I was looking at just their instant funding accounts, thinking, oh, I can get an instant funding account, just trade that with the current strategy that I have, and make some money from that. One, they introduced this new program called Micro IF, and I don't currently have that pulled up. Let me pull that up. Let's see if their little chat even stays. Their chat that I'm pretty sure is just an AI now, because the only person you'll ever connect to is Liam, who joins the conversation, which is everybody is Liam. There's nobody else, because when I looked at them like 8 months ago, it was Liam that I talked to. I highly doubt that it's Liam again being the one that I talked to. I also tried at that time because I was so suspicious to check them out on an incognito tab, and I happened to get Liam again. Then I tried it again with a VPN, and I talked to Liam again. So Liam is clearly just an AI bot, or them all using the same name. There's just something suspicious about that, because it's a blatant lie for absolutely no reason. That's a small thing, right? But they've introduced this new thing called Micro. Ooh, wow, Micro. And it's essentially like half the price of the other accounts, which isn't a great price at all, considering that this isn't going to work for most people. But the idea is that you get 24 hours to trade an account and see how much money you can make. You're essentially gambling. It is essentially a gamble. I hope you pick a good day to trade, and your strategy just happens to have an opportunity or setup that you can make money from, because otherwise you lose the account. How incredibly stupid is that? And as we can see, we got a little reply from Liam. We'll read this in a second. But so let's read their IF Micro, and then I'll go to the other one. The reason that people would go to instant funding is to get instant funding, right? Because their other accounts are pretty shitty also. So we're gonna read this one, and then we'll go over to the instant funding account and read the rules over there too. Some of that is copied over, but here's their new gambling accounts essentially. So your daily loss: you may not lose more than 4% of your account value per day. Okay, so I'm pretty sure they lie and say that the ultimate drawdown is different from this, but you can't lose more than 1% of the 4% of the. Okay, here it is. This is what I'm talking about. Okay, let me just read it. You may not lose more than 4% of your account value per day. Okay, so the daily drawdown is 4%. That's not horrible. So example, if your balance is 10,000, your equity is 10,500. At 17 EST, the daily loss limit for the next day will be 4% of 10,500. So the worst trailing drawdown system on earth. Because how does that even work when it comes to actually taking a payout from that? That is horrible. That literally makes no sense. And on a $10,000 account, you can really only use $400. And these things are like $100. If you actually put $100 into an actual account, you could lose all of the $100. Versus here, you have this illusion of $420 that you can make with a lot of other rules, and we'll get into those. Your maximum loss is limited to 6% of your starting balance. How is that your maximum loss if you can't lose more than 4% of your account value per day? In reality, your maximum loss on this very small account is $420. So you better not lose more than that. And it's $420 based on what it closes at the next day. So I don't think this is the exact one I was looking at. The other one, let me explain the rules on the other one, because I don't feel like pulling it up. Essentially, you have 24 hours to trade the account. Pretty similar in terms of their risk management, or the risk that you're apparently allowed to have. But you have 24 hours to trade the account, and you get a payout after that. But here's where this all gets suspicious, right? Not suspicious, just blatantly scammy, blatantly against you, blatantly. There's no way that this works unless you are gambling. Even if you have the greatest risk management on earth, you may not risk more than 1% of your starting account balance at any time in one trade idea. A trade idea includes all open positions on a single instrument in the same direction. So there's no way that you can start the account risking more than 1% of the account. And while you may say like, oh, that's just good risk management, it's not. Especially if, which I'm specifically talking about the other one, you only have 24 hours to trade. Obviously, that's going to encourage people to risk more than 1% if they want to make anything before you take the account away again. And if you risk more than 1%, so if you risk 1.01%, exceeding this limit will result in a hard breach. And notice how they say risk. This is another thing. It's not if you lose this amount, it's if you risk that amount. So if you open a single trade that is over a certain lot size, you lose the account. How stupid is that? So it is an illusion of there being a 4% daily drawdown, and an absolute illusion of there being a 6% maximum loss. Because if you risk more than 1% at any point of time, or at the beginning of your account, it's gone. It's instantly gone. And I can imagine there are a lot of people who don't read or take this into account and instantaneously lose their accounts because they open trades that are more than 1%. Okay, your best trading day must not exceed 15% of your total profit. So if you get lucky, if you have a really good trading day and you just leave it open, it can't exceed more than 15% of your profit. I kind of get this one so you don't just gamble and full port on a single trade. But still, that has nothing to do with y'all. This is supposed to be a demo account anyway. It's not actual capital. They're doing this for nothing. Like, this accomplishes nothing except giving them another reason to take your account from you. If your total profit is $1,000, your best day must be $150 or less. Your net profit must reach at least 5% of your starting balance. That's not too bad. But before you can get a payout, it having to be 5% of your starting balance means that there's a requirement for a certain percentage before you can take your own money out, giving them ample time for you to hopefully mess up and blow the account even after passing it, so that they can take the account from you again. That's not the worst rule. This one specifically, this is fucking stupid. They are telling you when you can take your money out from the thing that you paid for to unlock, and then spent weeks, days, however long it takes you to pass, when you can take your money out. And then we're going to get into the prohibited practices and strategies, right? But because this isn't the right IF micro account that I want to show you, I'll go over to the instant funding. And oh my gosh, wait until we get into the prohibited practices and strategies and the reality of what this means. Let me see. Take me back. Okay, one phase micro, equally as scammy. I think this 1F1, and I guess that stands for 1 for 1. You may not lose more than 2% of your account value per day. If you lose 2% once, you're gone. I'm sorry, I had to click on it. You can request one payout after the 24 account period ends if both of the following apply. If you follow all of these stupid fucking rules, then you can take your little payout that you make within 24 hours. Hope the markets were allowing you to trade. I hope the markets after your initial trade allowed you to take a good enough trades after that to achieve the amount of money that you want, or not result in a 2% drawdown. Hope you didn't risk more than 1% of your account. Like, this stuff genuinely makes me upset because there's no way that you can win this. This is literally just a scam. It is gambling. But they don't allow you to gamble or put too much of the account because you can only risk 1% of your starting balance. Isn't that crazy? Your net profit is at least 3% of your starting balance. So you are expected to make, if you're buying this, 2%. And that 2% on most accounts isn't even going to be more than the amount that you made when you initially did the trade. When you initially paid for the prop firm account. How stupid. How completely idiotic. Okay. And again, I haven't bought an instant funding account from them in like 2 years. I had a normal one phase account, but it took like one of those for me to realize, oh dang, I just got scammed. I'm not gonna open this again. But I came back to check out the instant funding rules to see whether or not this is actually like a manageable thing, whether or not this can be some way that I make money, or have more capital to make money in the foreign exchange markets. Okay, so this one. First of all, the 1% rule. Again, that completely limits your ability in these smaller accounts to actually make money in them. If you're risking 1%, they have a $625 account now. They just created that to take more money from people. It's like $40. Like you can't. I can't risk more than 1% on a $625 account. Or what does that even mean? And I'm sure you're thinking like, oh man, that can't be just like opening a certain lot size. Okay, if it's not opening a certain lot size, right? And you happen to enter a downside, so not over leveraged position, and it goes down 1%, does this mean the account gets taken away? It's not clarified, so there's definitely an opportunity for them to take the account away, since their only goal is to make you buy more and to take your account away as fast as possible. I don't know why I'm lagging right now. Why am I frozen? My anger must be so great that it's just freezing me up. Or maybe I don't have enough lighting. I'm not sure. I'm sorry if it's been freezing throughout this video. I'm not remaking this one, though. There's too much rage behind this to remake this one. Okay, and now we're here. Let's get into the completely fucking idiotic rules and prohibited practices and strategies, right? And so I understand what some of these are. Some of these make sense completely. But it is their discrepancy as to what this means. That is the big thing. And for me, the most idiotic ones are these first two. Let's read these other ones. Reverse trading, because who knows what that actually means. Yeah, so those are the worst. These other ones make sense. Exploiting inefficiencies in trading platforms, of course. Exploiting system glitches, of course. Account churning, rolling. I'm sure that means something that isn't what it actually says it means. So that one is suspicious. Group copying / account management. I mean, it's just an excuse for them to not allow you to copy trade and use a trader who's actually going to make money on their account. But whatever. Reverse trading and group hedging. So, you hedge with two different currencies, which is a completely valid strategy. You close one while the other one's moving into profit, and the other one is beginning to move into loss. And the other one continues to move into profit. You keep that position open. A hedge fund. Hedge funds are named after this. A completely valid strategy. This is banned. So if you open two trades on any two pairs, that's banned. So you can't trade multiple pairs at once. You can't do one of the longest running and profitable strategies in the stock market and just markets in general, which is hedging your bets by opening trades on different pairs. How fucking idiotic. The usage of public third-party expert advisors. Public third-party expert advisors. So the use of an expert advisor that you'd buy a license to, which would make your trading robotic, which, I mean, most of those wouldn't work on this anyway. A lot of those are grid traded. A lot of those are hedged. But if you buy one of these and they somehow decide or figure out, oh, he's using a third-party expert advisor, they're going to take your account. How stupid. Copy trading between unrelated accounts, whatever. High frequency trading. Okay, so this one's extremely annoying. Trades under 60 seconds or excessive volume. Okay, so you happen to enter a trade, right? And this happens. And out of nowhere, the candle just flies up. First of all, if it flies down and you risk more than 1%, goodbye to your account. 1% risk. How incredibly intelligent of a rule. So people have to risk 0.5% on every trade, meaning that they'd never be able to grow a small account. But if you don't, right? Let's say, it's flying up. It's flying up. 1 minute trade flies up. You get way more than enough pips to be able to close on, right? And you close and take that trade and take the profits from that trade. That is high frequency trading. If you close it within 1 minute, which in the event that you get an extremely large candle to a singular side, you are going to do, because the most likely thing to happen is that there are large candle shorting bears at the top of such a large candle. So people with the ideology on their own individual accounts, this obviously wouldn't work for this one. You say, okay, this candle is way too big. I'm going to short it back to the middle or to the bottom of this candle and make money, which is actually something that you're fighting against when you're trading. So you take your profits because you know that the most likely thing to happen behind a humongous candle is another candle that retraces. It either retraces or it potentially reverses at that point. And even if it continues up, great. But the best thing, the most probable and logical thing to do in a humongous candle is to close it. And then you can re-enter into the position if that ends up being a genuine trade or push in that trading direction. Let me make sure I'm still recording. Okay, I'm making a 14-minute video. I'm really raging right here. So if you do that, you do the most logical thing, the most probable thing within an account, and this instant funding is not going to be around for too much longer. It's clear that these rules have changed. Everything's gotten worse. Liam over here makes no fucking sense. And we'll open Liam and check out his message here in a second. Whatever fucking excuse he has for the garbage that he's trying to sell and push. But if you If you close this trade within 60 seconds, it's gone. The account's gone. By doing the most probable and logical thing, by doing the best thing for your own risk management, the best thing for risk management in general, if you're scalping or if you happen to open a trade and it immediately flies up within 60 seconds. How dumb is that? How dumb is that? What I do is I open 3 trades, which I guess would be greed trading, right? Because obviously that's not what greed trading is, but I'd imagine that they'd say, "Oh man, that's greed trading. You can't do that. Oh, you bought one, it went down a little bit. You bought another one, and then you closed out at break even or a little bit of profit. That's actually a grid. It looks like you're grid trading." And of course, grid trading, like the idea is, oh, you've got 30 or 50 open positions, but it's not that. It is whatever they decide it is. So the chances of that working just aren't there. Oh, so annoying. So in grid trading though, or if I open 3 positions, I usually open 3 positions going in the same direction to decrease the risk if one immediately moves against me or the first trade immediately moves against me. It's less risk than going all in at once. If I open one, okay, profit. I'll open another one. Okay, we're in profit. Open another one. Oh, in profit. And then I see this one. Oh, that's a bad candle. And I close that one. Or I decide after that one moves a little bit, oh, I'm going to close that. Then bam, my account's gone because the close for the new opening was under 60 seconds. It is completely against you in every way. This is a scam company. They should not exist. And with that, we'll come to the conclusion. I'll open up and look at Liam. And again, this wasn't as bad. This isn't just rage for me losing an account. Like, I've lost many accounts from many different companies. I don't leave a company or get mad at a company because I lose an account. That's my personal risk management problems. As long as it makes sense why I lost the account. Over here, I'm thinking about just past accounts because I'm coming back thinking, okay, I might come back buy an instant funding account. I'm coming back and I'm looking at the new rules because these are changed rules, and some of these might have existed in the past that resulted in me losing accounts because 1 or 2 of those were very suspicious. But I'm looking, and this is genuinely just, it's completely against you. So let's see what they lie about. So the first question, what is the new rule about 3% risk on instant funding accounts? Hello, thanks for contacting Instant Funding. Risking or losing more than 50% of your daily drawdown at any time in one trade is considered gambling and constitutes a hard breach. So, if it dips below, if you risk more than your daily drawdown, which is only 4%, so 2%. So if you ever drop below 2% of your daily drawdown, the account is gone. This is considered gambling. No, it's not considered gambling. Profit and loss statements regularly fluctuate, especially in a prop firm account where we're trying to make money and it's a smaller account. They regularly fluctuate below 2%. This is a very regular thing that happens. Like the 1% rule isn't a thing that actually exists outside of accounts that are exceeding $200,000, $500,000, $1 million. Because it makes sense at that point to only risk 1%, get 1%, because 1% is more than enough for you to consistently see that account grow. This is an account that we are going to consistently see grow. This is an account that we want to make money from. Once you pass the account, you want to make money from, take the payout, and then do it again. The point of this is to make money from payouts as you get them or as they become available. You aren't going to sit here and grow their $5,000 fake account. That's not how this works. This risk management, this illusion of risk management that doesn't even use real money, it doesn't matter. They don't need that. They don't actually need you to be a good trader. If anything, they want you to be the worst possible, which is why they introduced this IF micro account. But in reality, you don't even have 4%, you have 2%. If it dips below 2%, it's gone. You don't have a 4% daily drawdown. So let me just re-emphasize the amount of lies here. Your maximum loss is 6%. No, that's not actually true. If you actually lose 4% in a day in your daily drawdown, you lose the account. But now with this new rule, if you lose half of the 4%, which is 2%, you lose the account. Let me finish this video, man. This video has gone on longer than it needs to be. Hopefully, this is the video that people actually watch when they're looking up instant funding on YouTube, so they can actually find out the reality of like what these rules mean and the completely logical nature behind them. And I might be getting a few of these rules wrong, but you have to be extremely, because on other sites they have similar rules, right? Not this, but they have similar rules in terms of like the grid trading and stuff. Okay, that makes sense. But it's the fact that this is such a suspicious company. And there are so many rules stacked on top of what should just be a very simple explanation as to how you're supposed to manage these accounts. Specific rules that allow you to either manage 10 different parts of your risk management system, while you're trading these, or risk getting the account blown off of a 2% drawdown. Okay, so we're wrapping up here. We're wrapping up. So I said, so basically, if you accidentally drop below half the daily drawdown, you all take the account, meaning that you only have half your daily drawdown amount in reality. And basically, I can't enter one lot broken down into 3 positions in a 5K account because I'm risking too much of the account, because that would be over 1%. Ooh, you're risking 1.15%. He's going to lose our fake money. We care so much about him. We just need him to be a good trader. We want him to be a good trader before he passes his prop firm account. Good traders never risk or lose 2% or 1%. Oh my gosh. Please note that drawdown and risk per trade are 2 separate risk control methods. No, it's not. Drawdown is usually based on your initial balance or daily loss limit and is meant to protect your account from large overall losses during a day or over time. Daily loss limit. How does that make sense? How is you taking the account after the daily loss contributing to protecting the account, the fake account? That is literally against its own logic. Risk per trade exists to limit how much you can lose on a single trade idea. If I have micro accounts, risk per instrument is 1% of your account balance. So if you have a trade that's going in your direction, and you decide, okay, we don't run down, because that sounds like gambling language. You increase your amount of risk in a pair that's proving to confidently move in its trending direction, and you have your confluences that support the move in that direction. And like me, for example, who splits even the lot size I normally use would be split into 3, right? So that I can immediately get out of small losses. If I were to use all 3 positions to get into a full-size position, and it exceeds 1% of my account balance, the amount being risked, I lose the account. Phase accounts. You may risk up to 50% of your daily drawdown on a single trade. So, like, the daily drawdown, unless you are risking absolutely nothing, you'd have to be risking such a small amount. And if you aren't, then 50% of the daily drawdown, if it is risked, makes you lose money. Meaning that is not your daily drawdown. As if I'm getting this across to y'all. Meaning that is not your daily drawdown. Your daily drawdown is actually 50%, especially if you only trade one pair. Especially if you see opportunities existing in a single pair, so you're only going to trade that one for the day. Which, if they cared about you, your risk management, and your profitability, would make absolute sense. Since there's higher alpha that exists for short periods of time on singular pairs based off of news and global macroeconomic events that would result in a single pair potentially moving stronger in a single direction than the other ones. XAUUSD is probably the best example of this at the moment. It is continuing to push up. You might want to enter multiple trades or continue to go into trades on XAUUSD. But in the event that you lose more than 50% on a single trade in that direction, or risk more than 1%, on a single trade, oh my gosh, it's over. You lose the account. And I'm mixing up some of my words here. But again, the thing I want to get across is that all of this is intermingled to be multiple risk management rules that you have to manage, all of which are created with the sole intention of you losing the account so you have to buy another one. Like, none of this is for you. None of this is good for you. None of this makes any sense. And all of them conflict with each other. And what they're saying, you have to realize also, what he's telling me right now, it can be a lie. And it is a lie. It is a lie. Even with these rules, drawdown limits remain important because they help manage risk across multiple trades or sessions. Together, these rules create a safer, oh wow, because it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous if a person manages to make some money and actually has to take money from the instant funding people, instantfunding.com. Who is this safe for again? Please tell me. Please tell me how this is safer for my capital. A maximum risk of 2% is safer for my capital than actually giving me the maximum loss of 6%. Because if you're familiar with the markets in general, having a 6% drawdown isn't the rarest thing on earth. And it doesn't mean that a person is a bad trader. It is a inevitable thing. Hear me out. If you have an 80% win rate, right, which is higher than most of y'all will have, or higher than most of the world has, and you do 70 winning trades in a row, you're an animal, you're on fire. But you have a 10 trading loss streak, then you've lost or you've gone down potentially if you're risking 1%, 10%. That doesn't mean the strategy doesn't work. It just means that the law of large averages is caught up to you. It means that your strategy is working perfectly. It is in the strategy for you to, within a sample size of 100 trades, to lose 20. And obviously that's over exaggerating. It's the numbers will be much more distributed than that, but there's a potential for that to happen. Extremely low probability, but there's a potential for that to happen. In 1,000 trades, even with an 80% win rate, you should be expecting to lose 200%, which is why your risk management has to be perfect and you can't oversize. Because if you oversize and it happens to be one of the losses that is in your trading plan that results in, one of the 20% of losses that you get, then goodbye to your account, or goodbye to all the profit that you made previously when you were using proper risk management. That just can't exist. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up here. We're gonna wrap it up. I know I'm yapping. I know I'm yapping. I know I've been going hard, and my God, this is a 26-minute video. That is insane. And they instantly close Liam, the AI bot that doesn't even exist anymore. I have no idea why he took so long to reply to that other message. This obviously is not a human. Thank you for reaching out to instant funding support. I'm here if you need any further help. No, you're not. You're not here to help anybody. You're not here to help anybody. You don't care. You don't care. You're getting paid your little $10 an hour, or the $5 a month for the little bot on the site. You don't care. Shut up. Shut the fuck up, Liam. I can't stand Liam. Thank you for reaching out to Instant Funding Support. I'm here if you need any further help. Feel free to message anytime if you have questions or concerns. So that's going to be it. We'll wrap up the video there. I know I've gone hard. I know I've gone crazy. But that's it. I think I got across the reason why this is an absolute scam. This company has nothing for you. They don't care about you making any money. They hope you don't. And that's it. Y'all have a good day. Stay safe. Make sure you're actually reading the rules of the prop firm accounts you decide to engage with.